Why? Why?
I know. Oh, God.
Don't tempt me. Oh, Lord. Whoop.
Ooh.
Made for power, son.
It's a hog leg. Wait, this is it. Pick that booger out of there. Try a shortcut here. Oh, the old Marge mangle.
It'd be fine.
No.
She ain't playing.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh. Yes.
No. Just snap the bolt off. Absolutely terrible news. So fast already. We're out. What are you doing? Knock, knock. Who's there? That sounds like a lifter to me. It's on this side.
Come on, Granny, move out of the way.
We have no codes at all. Even though the thing was missing on her driving it home, ticking like crazy. This thing has the displacement on demand deal where it shuts down cylinders through the lifters. I think they're pretty notorious for the lifters going out. So we're gonna have to blow this engine apart, I guess, and find out what's wrong.
I done that.
Maybe. I think it's L33 they're called, maybe. I don't know. It's the aluminum 5.3, so it's a pretty desirable engine in the high performance community. We're gonna have to tear this engine apart and get it fixed. It's been broke down now for how long?
Couple months.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I have not been able to get to it. All right, let's tear into it.
Piston clears out. Okay.
So, fast forward to several weeks later. If I told you how many times we said we were going to come down here and start on this car, and then someone called and said, hey, come pick this up, or it's ready, or parts came in. This got delayed and delayed and delayed, like everything in my life. We're actually going to start on it today. So, I'm going to start by disconnecting our battery, because that's always a good place to start. The negative side is super hard to get to, or I would have disconnected it. So we need to drain the oil and the antifreeze. If it is what I think it is, we're gonna have to get all the way down to the block. Engine cover. Why did they ever even invent these?
I don't know. It makes stuff so much harder. Go on your piggies.
Oh, watch my piggies now. Quit it.
It's leaking oil.
That's factory. Look at this air box thing. It goes all the way back there. Why are we not putting some donkey air breather on this? I keep wanting to like lower it and put hoops on it and the whole deal.
You know, if it sounds good, my foot's gonna be really in that skinny pedal.
That's true.
I could be getting a ticket for sure.
Yeah. You mean more tickets? Look at this guy. What? Look at him. Why? Why? Hey, look, you got the bread box intake.
Bread?
And this is aluminum 5.3 with 799 heads. This is like what a lot of people want. This is that good stuff. I got a 15 millimeter here to push this tensioner in to get the belt off. Well, I think you actually changed the tensioner on this, didn't you, when it broke down on Mom? It was either the tensioner or the idler pulley, and Mom limped her home. I don't know how. I don't know how it made it home. The tensioner was, the bearing was completely gone. I'm gonna take the skid plate off here. It's a 15. Ralphie's still trying to drain the oil back there.
Well, it looks like she done drained out.
That's done
What is
something.
that?
I have no idea. Ooh. There you go. This is just plastic anyway. Look, it's busted too, Marge. What have you been running over?
Don't you worry about me.
Look, you've been busted the skid plate.
Don't worry about it.
All pieces. Here you go. We're using our new tools that came in the last Family episode. And we really appreciate them.
Hey, I know. I'm gonna take this drain plug out. It's in a very weird space. Took like 5 minutes trying to find it.
You got a drain pan down there?
Yep, the big one here. Oh my gosh.
So I believe we're going to have to take off all the front accessory drive, unfortunately. Or at least most of it. So because we got to take the heads off because these accessory brackets bolt to the heads.
Oh god.
I know. This is
Why do you have to take the heads off?
to get the lifters out. That's how LS motor is.
That's so weird.
They
just make it hard on us.
They do.
Second attempt. It's literally just pushing me away. Oh, I got it.
Oh, nice job, Marge Jr.
Oh, that hurt. Why are these things so low?
I don't know. For a four-wheel dig, you think it'd be higher up, huh?
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, General Motors. It's called hard driving around.
You jump some stumps and they settle on down.
Oh, I can't see anything now.
Thing's wedged in there. We could put one of them soupy chargers on here, maybe.
Don't tempt me now.
I did it.
Woohoo!
And there's chunks.
What?
I don't know.
I think this may be the first time we've worked on this end of the shop.
Oh, yeah?
It is. I'm gonna take this lower radiator hose off and drain it.
Ralph, any power.
I'm goaded. Maybe give it the shimmy. Oh yeah, the shimmy is the way to go. You're coming off, no matter what. Okay.
Alright.
Doesn't seem like it has a lot of coolant, does it? Oh, there it goes.
Red. It's okay. It's red antifreeze.
Why don't you move the thing under there?
When you pull the cylinder heads off, if it's full of coolant, all the coolant goes into the oil pan. So I'd rather it be in this pan than the oil pan. I should have oiled these up before, huh?
Probably.
I'm gonna pull these coil packs off here so we can get to our valve cover bolt flaw. Here, set them behind the car on this side the same way they're sitting there like that. I just want to make this a race motor. I see an aluminum block 5.3.
Just fix it so I can drive it.
This thing needs a cast iron motor. It doesn't need this aluminum motor. We bought this thing from the Amish, if you remember.
I had like 7 or 8 kids.
Some of them were on the roof. No
For
joke.
sure.
The little Amish girl came out and asked Tosh, "What color is your hair?" That's all of our valve cover bolts. The gasket setups on these are so much better than the old school small blocks are. Almost everything on this is O-ring seal. The valve cover rail is so much higher. A lot of old engines, the valve cover rail is low and it sits in oil all the time. And they had like one bolt here and one way down there and it leaks in the middle. These are just so much better sealed up engines. Oh, broke the seal. Did you hear it, Marge?
I heard it.
This thing's got, what is it? It's over 200,000 miles. I doubt the engine's ever been apart. Come on, the bottom's still holding on. How our rockers look? Anything look out of place over here?
No.
They all look bolted down still, huh? It's not gooped up. I've only ran Rotella T6 5W40 synthetic in it the whole time we've owned it. I have no idea what was running it before that. I'm pretty particular about my stuff. So this just pokes down in here.
No, do we have to get a new one of those? Or
No, it shouldn't unless it breaks. Stuck down. Oh!
That side's more clean than that side.
These are 8mm bolts for these rockers, which seems small, but the thread size is pretty decent though. None of the rockers seem overly loose. I should be able to pick all this up together. That right there. Pretty cool. They're just pedestal mount, but the pedestal comes with them. These can all come off of here. They're good rockers. I mean, I ran 5s with these stock rockers. Somebody said that in that tote, just like this. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and pull our push rods out of here.
Oh, Lord.
Are you worried?
I feel so like the end of it. This is the end. This is the beginning of the end.
Hopefully not. I don't see anything obviously wrong with your push rods. That one, they don't look bent though, but I don't know why that doesn't have oil residue on it. The ball is on both ends. They all look straight. Nothing so far.
Okay.
The other side, all of them look fine too.
Good.
Well, we gotta find a problem somewhere.
Hole in the piston.
Oh no.
Better not
It
be.
probably wouldn't run at all then.
I'm labeling all my injector plugs here. The coil packs have a main plug that you can just unplug the whole thing. So it's a little easier to keep up with, but this doesn't. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 1, 3, 5, 7 over there. Take my intake bolts out of here. Got all our injectors unplugged now. So this is a dry intake, it's O-ring, and it can go on backwards if you have the room. Who knew?
That's cool.
Oh no.
So this has a returnless fuel system. And we got our special tool here to take the line loose that I'd have gave $1,000 for in South Dakota. Of course, it's not going to cooperate. There we go. Okay, it's going to pour gas everywhere and stink.
Oh.
That's why I was waiting to do that one. It's got to be about everything on the intake, I think.
Jerk that sucker over there.
I got the pry bar here. Let's get this bread box off of here.
Whoop!
Ooh, broke the seal on that one too.
This is holding it on that little, there you go. Ooh.
Oh.
Marge.
I was trying to help.
Train wreck.
There's something holding us still.
Hey,
What?
your hand is on that tube. Is that holding you?
Oh, maybe. Oh, Hawkeye over here.
Looky there.
Okay, we got a vacuum for the booster as well.
Are you leaking something?
It's factory. Ooh.
What?
That's it's just vacuum.
I've never seen one. What is that?
Look like I got a dirt dauber's nest in there.
Yeah, that's just junk that fell off this intake. See, that's all the oil passages for your displacement on demand thing, where it shuts down the cylinders, because this oil is for your lifters. That's how it shuts down cylinders, is through hydraulically, like that.
But
Let's get our vacuum in here and suck all this dirt out. We do got dirt daubers in there.
I've never seen holes that look like that before. I've never seen one.
It's a cathedral. See, it looks like a cathedral.
Looks like a cathedral, literally.
So that's your intake port. A big key to performance is how tall your intake port is based off of your block surface. So the fact that the top of this port is this high from here is a big key to why it flows so well, because you get a straighter shot. The more racy an engine is, the higher the port goes, the taller the cylinder head. So if you see a really tall cylinder head like this, it's gonna do well. Check out these head bolts. It's got little tiny head bolts up here, little ones, and it's got the big ones down there.
Made for power, son.
Come on. We could pull this tray off here, couldn't we? And look underneath there.
Well, what is that, 5/8?
It's not a 5/8, it's a 13 millimeter. This one was loose and this one was loose already. Look, that one's loose too. You hear it didn't even go clickety clackety.
Clickety clackety.
And it's gonna have O-rings in here that seal it up to the block surface. Ooh, see, that wasn't even stuck down good, was it?
No. Whoa.
Here's your little electric solenoids that control cylinders getting shut down. We're gonna have to plug the oil passages going to here.
Oh, I can see
It's
it.
basically oil comes in the back. See your oil passage from your, this is your oil pressure gauge. You can see the oil comes down through here and feeds into those holes. We're gonna have to get a kit that takes all that out. Why in the world they don't let you access the lifters from here, I have no idea. Everything I always heard was like the lifters fail. I don't know if these guys tend to fail or not, but that's what controls it. This plug in here, I guess, sends a signal to these on when to shut down cylinders and when not. Because sometimes it runs on 8, sometimes it runs on 6, sometimes it runs on 4. Yeah. These are the steam vents. Word on the street is they'll overheat if you plug these guys off. And the old ones, the earlier ones, had steam vents at the back and the front that linked together under the intake. This one just has them on the front. I don't know how true all that is, but that's what I've always heard. Is like, if you plug them, they'll overheat. We could just throw a cam in her while we got it out. You know what I'm saying?
You know I'd get me in trouble.
I know. These head bolts here are super easy to get to. From memory, I think they only torque down to like 20 foot-pounds. Look at that. It wasn't even tight. This is where your exhaust was leaking.
I was gonna say, I know I had an exhaust leak somewhere.
But the second one, look, is gone. Oh, how nice would it be if it just loosened up and fell
there.
out so I could just screw a new one in. So this was a dead giveaway on the LS motors. The early ones had a 10 millimeter bolt and the laters had a 13. So a lot of guys say, like, if you want a Gen 4 engine, then you get the one with the 13 millimeter exhaust bolts. That's not like a 100% thing, but that was a thing they switched over during that time. Come on, we don't need any broken bolts. Like a steel part threading into an aluminum part and heat, you're gonna have issues. Right, Marge?
Yep.
Like everything I took off, there's been 1 or 2 loose bolts. Here's a tip for you. Don't start from the easiest bolts and then like leave the hard one in the back for last. I always try to leave one that's in the easy spot for last because it makes it easier to get that back one out if it's got support from somewhere else. On both sides, I've left the middle one in place. So that's the last one I deal with. Because when you have all the weight hanging on that one bolt, it's harder to get out. And if it's the very back one, you're really gonna fight it. I'm really hoping that we can lay this exhaust out and not unbolt it from the exhaust system, hopefully, and pull the heads. That may not be possible. This back one I had to get a ratchet wrench on because nothing else would fit in there, but I hate working on these big vehicles like this. The distance from the back of this engine to the front of the bumper is at least 17 feet, I'm thinking.
What?
You concur?
laid out there.
Well, that was definitely your blown exhaust gasket. It really wasn't a blown gasket. It was loose bolts around the gasket. Like, the gasket looks fine. But look, that second one is broke off. So probably when we get these heads off and on the ground, we'll weld a nut to that and back it out. I know I have some extra LS bolts from our other LS swap stuff we've done. Mom reminded me it has broke motor mounts, so.
It's because Marge's been gassing it.
Yeah, so we need to do that as well.
Dang, son.
They're long, yeah, they go way down on the block. I think the Gen 3 and Gen 4 are different head bolt lengths. It's starting to drip coolant even though we drain the thing. Okay, there should be nothing holding the cylinder head on now. Oh, it's already loose.
Oh, everything was loose.
So,
Oh, it smells terrible.
yeah, it's just old engine. So these are the 799 heads, which they have a bigger intake valve. I think they have a 2.0 intake valve instead of the 189 or whatever the other ones have. But if you watch guys like Richard Holdner that actually test this stuff, supposedly they don't make any more power with those heads compared to the old heads that have smaller valve. Basically, if you have an LS head on your LS engine, they all make about the same power unless you get into the crazy stuff. So these have multi-layered steel head gaskets from the factory. That's one reason why they hold boosting pretty good. Some had paper gaskets, but I don't think I've ever tore down one that had paper gaskets. I don't want to lose our cylinder head dowels. Sloppy mechanic, he would reuse the head gaskets. He would reuse everything. It's incredible what he did with a lot of his builds. There we go. I don't think we had any head gasket issues. I mean, it was running fine until it started ticking. Being a modern fuel injected engine, it has no ridge at the top of the cylinders, even at 200,000 plus miles. And it still has crosshatch in the bores. Incredible. And look, these are flat top pistons. That's probably one of the reasons why people like these motors so much, because the other 5.3s had dish tops. So it's a hog leg. It would be really fast in a light vehicle. These are our lifter trays here. So you take these 10mm bolts out, and then we should be able to pull our lifters out if the trays are still holding them. It's not staying there right. So there is special lifters. That's not the regular lifters they have. I think this will be the normal ones, yeah. So this is probably an LS7 style lifter like they all pretty much have. Ooh, that oil's like goopy in there. We're gonna have to change lifter buckets too, because these are special for these. But we're gonna get a kit that should come with all that. So it's pulling the special ones out, but not the other ones. And if you notice, the special lifters are the ones with the oil passages there. Like I was telling you, that's how they're controlled. All right, let's rip this other one off before we go in for the night. It's getting late, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's hard to get to. Here. So you can't get them off without pulling the exhaust manifolds. You gotta kind of pry on it a little bit. We may end up taking the exhaust manifold off before we put them back on, but we'll probably have to take them off anyway to do the engine mounts, I bet. I don't know what that smell is. A couple 100,000 miles on the engine, you tear it down. It has that weird smell, doesn't it? It's like cooked oil. They all have the same smell, it seems like. I think this is ready to come off. I don't see anything exciting in there. Just dirty. We'll clean these things up before we put them back on. Another good head gasket. I'm looking at the rollers, and so far all the rollers look fine. But I bet it's the internals of these things that give out, you know?
Yeah.
And they probably just collapse. That's the last one there. Let's look at these lifters, because I think we're going to find our answer somewhere in there. Isn't that weird? Look at the difference between the two.
It's like a whole nother one.
But all the push rods are the same length, right?
Yeah.
No wonder they didn't come out of their trays, huh? Wait. This is it.
Well, let's see, its spring
See
looks
it?
messed up.
That's the one right there.
Hey.
It's stuck down. It's supposed to pop back up like that, you know?
That's weird.
So we had one bad DOD lifter there. Well, at least we found it.
I was gonna say, I'm glad we found the answer.
That's got to be why this push rod right here was shiny.
I'm pretty sure it's the back one.
You know? That's why we had a shiny spot on our one push rod. That was the lifter right there.
That's what you said it was at the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, they're notorious for doing this. I've just never dealt with one before. The engine that was in my Starlet, which was the same engine that's in my truck, you know, it had a lifter go down, and that's why he replaced the whole engine. It was the roller tip, though, that went out. So I just put a new cam lifter as I was going to anyway, and that motor was fine.
Your Starlet?
Yeah, so I got that engine cheap. All right, well, there you go. That's what they look like when they're bad, right there. I think it'll pop up or something. No, apparently not. So we're gonna get a kit to delete this out of the engine. I'm gonna have to look into if we have to do any retuning or whatever. We may have to do some sort of tuner. Replace these lifters, put the heads back on, and we should be good to go, right, Squeezle? High five. All right, well, we will see you guys when the parts come in. Fast forward a few months, we went through a bunch of back order issues. So the DoD delete kit, everybody was out of stock on it. Literally every manufacturer, every website, every place I called. So I had to piece together a kit is what I had to do. And I also figured out that we have to replace the camshaft for sure. Every other cam lobe, because every other lifter is different, has a different profile. And if you don't change the cam, it shows up as a miss in the cylinder and it messes things up. So we got a comp cam. We basically got a 1/4 racing cam here. It's just enough cam to where you're not supposed to have to tune the computer. But we also got this. We got a Diablo Sport I3, which is able to delete out the displacement on demand because we have to do that. So a lot of the options I found as far as tuners go, they still make you leave all the DoD stuff in place, which I didn't want to do. So this is supposed to be able to delete all that out. But I got a new set of head gaskets, timing cover gasket. So this is our factory valley cover you guys saw with all that junk. So we're replacing it with a flat one that doesn't have any of the solenoids or anything in it. Now I've got to tear this thing apart farther. So I've got to pull the water pump, got to pull the crank pulley, timing cover, all that stuff. You know the deal. We just did this on a Metro Mount in between the last filming of this. So I'm gonna start tearing into this motor. Woo! I guess I'm just gonna have to pull the radiator out because I won't be able to get the cam out without that. I hope I don't have to pull the condenser. Did I get everything loose? That's a big boy fans on it, doesn't it? Now I've got to take these oil cooler lines loose, and they have a little metal clip you see right there. I basically take a pick tool and pick these out. I'm just gonna not do it right now because it'll fly off in the middle of nowhere. I'll never find it. I pick that wire out, and you can pull the hose right out of there. Okay, I picked that booger out of there off camera. See, that thing was pulled right out of there now. The top one and the bottom one here. And you're gonna have some engine oil go out, of course. I think we're ready to pull the radiator now. I don't know if you guys have seen some of those radiators that come in the new diesel trucks, but man, they put enormous radiators in these trucks now. Uh-oh. I don't know when it happened, but something's got into the radiator. I've never had to do any serious mechanic work on this, but somebody has. Oh, there's Mike. I hear him. Don't look like it's leaking though. I measured the new cam, it's 19 inches, and we have exactly 19 inches between the block and the condenser, so I think we'll be good there. Did I get all the bolts? Looks like I did. Oh, bunch of coolant. It's funny how no matter how much you drain them, there's still coolant somewhere. We haven't had any trouble with this thing getting hot or anything, so I'll probably just reuse this water pump and thermostat and everything. Thing down here is a big 24. Come on, fair easy, please. So I'm pushing against the bolt because my puller is flat like that, and it'll just screw up the threads in the crank if I don't. I stuck a lug nut in there to give me something to push off of. We'll see if it works. Oh yeah. Big long shank, 1/2-inch lug nut fits right inside that hole in the end of the crank. I think I've got all the bolts out of the timing cover. The bottom two that come up for the pan are a real pain. One of them's actually still in there. I've got to pull up on this while I unscrew it. Okay, I think I got it out now. There we go. Nothing looks scary there. I see. So now I'm going to try a shortcut here because I don't really want to have to pull the oil pump pickup tube off, and I can't really get to the bolt hardly. Take the oil pump off. I'm going to try to just take this bolt out and pull the cam gear and leave everything else in place. We'll see if this works. I've got it on top dead center number 1. You can see I marked the chain where it's at. This has the same size as the crank bolt. It's a big boy, isn't it? Wow, I forgot how big those are. So this has a 4X front reluctor wheel on the cam, so you gotta keep this style for it to read. Come on, it's right there. Oh, there you go. We can snake this chain off of here. You might can do this without pulling the oil pump. What do you think?
I think you can.
There you go. Oh, like that right there. All right, now you gotta take the retainer plate off. Ooh. Man, I did not expect that to go this deep. I'll take the bolt out just to get it past this condenser, huh?
Yeah.
Just enough room. I heard something the other day from Tick Performance, and they said the reason why the cam bearings always look bad in these is they put the cam bearings in and then they machine it. They like line hone it to make it completely straight. Yeah, that's what I heard. Well, it was at this point in the video, I compared our new comp cam here to the stock cam and realized something that I should have already known, that our stock single bolt cam is not the same as our aftermarket cam with a 3-bolt setup, because this is way more common. So if you look on Summit Racing and aftermarket LS cams, pretty much every one is 3-bolt cam. So I should have known this ahead of time, but I didn't, because it's been a while since I worked on LS motors. So I ended up ordering a 3-bolt cam gear with the correct 4-tooth reluctor wheel built into it, and some new cam bolts from Summit, and now we should be able to install the camshaft finally. So once again, I'll give you the specs on this cam. It's a 515, 522 lift cam. I hope that'll work with the stock springs. I've heard mixed information on that. It says no tuning is required, but it's recommended. So that's why I went with this. I just wanted to have something just a little bit better than stock. If I'm going to replace the cam, I'm not going to put a stalker in it, you know. At 50 thousandths, this is 206 on the intake, 212 on the exhaust, and a 112 lobe separation angle. Let's get some assembly lube on this and put it in the motor. So here's your side-by-side comparison of a stock going to the mall, going to soccer practice cam that came in this thing. We're getting like another 50 thousandths or so lift. It's gonna have another 16 degrees of intake duration at 50 thousandths, which from what I've seen is the primary thing that tells you how much power a cam's gonna make. And then you can see there's a 2-degree difference in lobe separation angle. So I'm no super cam expert, but I know that this number is very important in power production. It's really more of a cam than I thought I was getting, honestly. When I saw it and it said no tune required, I was like, oh, it's probably just like this much above stock, but it's quite a bit more healthy than the stock cam. Which you don't want to go too big on something like this, because then you're going to run into starting to lose low end power, and we don't want that. But the recommended RPM range is 800 RPM to 5800, which I hope Marge ain't turned this thing 5800, but you never know with her. Usually I use like a paste style lubricant when I'm getting one of these cams ready, but since this is a roller, I'm not too worried about it. It does look much cleaner and nicer than the factory one, but I went ahead and cleaned it real quick just to make sure there wasn't anything on it. And I'm going to use some of this ultra slick Permatex on it, so it's just like a really thick assembly lube oil. I've seen guys like Sloppy install them dry, but man, he's braver than me. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night with that, worried it was going to ruin it. I always love installing a camshaft. This is my first camshaft install though on an SUV ever. It'll be interesting to see how noticeable the difference is on power. We ought to put like an exhaust on this thing, you know, and maybe a colder intake or something. I don't know. We don't want Marge getting out there and hurting somebody. We just barely have enough room. So right now I have no lifters in the motor at all. I'll stick the old cam bolt in here to give me some leverage on this last little bit. There we go, right there. Now we're going to put the cam lock plate back in. I got some blue Loctite on the bolts to make sure they don't back out. This keeps the cam in place. With a flat tappet cam, a lot of times the lifters themselves actually keep the cam in place by the angle of the lobe and the lifter. On these roller motors, they basically always have like a cam button or a lock plate that keeps it in place. The more you know. Here's our new cam sprocket. We'll try to sneak this thing back in here since we didn't remove our oil pump. Crank's still sitting at top dead center number 1. How hard this is gonna be. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Marks are lined up. There we go, finally. I'm gonna put a cam bolt in here with some Loctite. Lock these guys down here. At some point, I do want to lower it and put different hoops on it. I wanted to do it last time we put some on there, but man, it ain't cheap to buy new hoops, you know, when you're already having to buy casings. It just wasn't enough for the envelope last time. Like I always do, we spin the motor over every time we put a new part in just to make sure it's gonna be good. So your cam spins half as fast as your crank. So when we come back around here, top dead center number 1, we should still be pointing at the right spot. Our piston's coming up, number 1, right there. We're lined up, everything feels smooth. Okay, let's drop some lifters in it. Caught it. Make sure you don't have any trash in here. It's sitting around for so long. So I've had my lifters soaking in oil here in a clean container. They just stick right into these. which our old ones wore out. So it'll hold the lifter for you, which is nice. Soaking them like that allows them to fill up with oil in all the passages. So we should be able to just pop this right down in here. And if you can believe it, it even came with new bolts. Got my Mortsky Super Scraper here. We're gonna try it out. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and put this valley cover on. And it actually comes with the new gasket and the seals and everything, which is nice. So I'm gonna poke these guys down in here. So these are gonna seal off those oil pressure ports that come up to the solenoids for the DOD delete. I have seen that they make like rivets that go down in the block that you put in. I don't know if there's a reason to do that when you have these to block it off. I wouldn't think so. Swap over my oil pressure sensor here. You can see here the crazy difference between the stock one and this aftermarket flat one here. Clean it all up. I honestly can't believe it came with bolts and all this. I don't know what the back order issue is, why nobody sells this as a kit right now, but you can get individual pieces. I'm gonna throw the timing cover back on it. I believe we're done with everything up here. I'm gonna put a dab of RTV right here in the corners to make sure we don't have any leaks. Mom said the wind is whipping out there today. I do kind of wish that these LS motors had a traditional oil pump, you know, mounted in the back. It is a pain dealing with this front oil pump situation. I put some assembly lube on the timing chain and ran it around too to make sure it's got lubrication. I go back and tighten these by hand when I get done. I heated this thing up just a tickle with a torch there. Okay, it's not wanting to go on. Well, I didn't want to do it this way, but it didn't slide on far enough to grab it with the bolt or the puller. So I've got the timing cover still loose so we can center it with this. Now I can tighten all these bolts and the two from the oil pan. It's weird how these LS harmonic balancers are not keywayed, so they can install in any position. Well, at this point, I would be putting my water pump on and my cylinder heads and buttoning it up, but we have a broke motor mount. Now, I'm probably gonna have to take these exhaust manifolds off to get access to those. Probably should have done that in the first place. Probably jack the engine up by the oil pan, because these have cast aluminum oil pans that are really strong, and swap out these broke motor mounts for the ones that came on our 6-liter in our Metro mount. Wonder how much slop there is in this motor mount. I know the motor rocks really hard. There you go. All right, I'm just gonna leave it right there. I don't want to bust anything. Looks like I'm gonna have to get in here amongst it. The catalytic converters look like they're in the way of getting to this with the impact on the bottom, but yeah, definitely that one. Had to get them with a ratchet wrench. There's 3 on each side, unfortunately. Wow, that is tight. I'm gonna try to get to the other one with my big impact. I'm thinking that I might get some of these with it. It definitely would be a lot quicker. Wow, that is really stuck. I can't believe that's that tight. It's gonna break the stud probably. Now, I have literally been under here for hours getting these bolts off. I'm down to my last one here. How is that tight? Oh, tell me it broke loose, please. Did it slip off or did it break loose? Oh, it broke loose, finally. This is stuff that slows you down so much. Exhaust bolts, man, they can be such a headache. Golly, that was a hard fought fight right there. Man, especially this side. The O2 sensor was like right here, so I had to pull the O2 sensor to get it out. I guess at least I didn't break any studs off or anything. All right, finally got that out. Marge, what did you do to break these motor mounts?
A gas in it.
Apparently. Maybe these won't be too bad. Hopefully we can change them from the top like this. It's got a bunch of 15mm bolts. Most all these bolts are 15s on this thing. Oh my gosh. Finally got that out. What's funny about it?
That was hard work, wasn't it?
Oh, let's look at your motor mounts. How long have we been driving like this? Because this was long before the lifter went out. Because I just didn't want to do it because on a full drive, it's a real pain to swap out.
A long time.
I hope those other motor mounts bolt right in. It looks like they will, but I'm not 100% sure. Oopsie. This is definitely a different style. Look at that. See how bright that is? But your parents' car did the same thing, so it must be really common. Or maybe it's in your family. Maybe that's what it is.
True.
So this is completely different design. I believe this is off of an 05 model, but these are still super solid. And this cushy boy here had the old Marge mangle done to it. Anytime you gave it any throttle, it would do that right there and set back down when you let off. Should be able to throw this guy right in there. Hopefully this drops right in. Oh wait, it won't fit, Marge.
What?
See?
The problem is.
Look down in here. You see that like funnel shape? So this guy won't fit in that hole. Look at that, it hits it. It won't let it sit down. I can't just cut that off because then the motor mount's broke. Great. Now we've got to get motor mounts. I'm headed to the parts store to get these engine mounts. They tell me they got them in stock down here.
Today's video is sponsored by our merchandise that you can get at thesleeperdude.com. We just released a new shirt. I mean, who wouldn't want a creepy middle-aged man on their shirt? We got hats, we got stickers, we got keychains, hoodies, t-shirts, I mean, artwork. We got a little bit of everything. Check out our third channel at Sleeperdude Arm. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Sleeperdude88. Woo!
Oh, dang, son. Extra 20 horsepower available at thesleeperdude.com. Oh, we ain't got nothing to worry about now. We got them power torque motor mounts. It's like 30-something bucks a piece. I really don't like how big and bulky these are, but that's what she had. And obviously, it's not gonna let us use anything else. Got a built-in heat shield that clearly doesn't work because, you know, it melted the other one. I'm sure this will be nice and cushy though for several miles. Apparently both sides are the same part number, according to my buddies Bruce and Nick at the parts store. Oh, I got the XL pry bar now. Maybe that'll get it up out of the way. Come on, slide in there. Now it just falls in. If I thought it wouldn't hurt it, I'd pull that heat shield off. I'm over that thing. How am I gonna get these in here with the heat shield? There's no telling what a mechanic shop would have charged me to do this. And then I'd have to be worried the whole time if they did it right. I just don't like having other people work on my cars. Kids just got home from school. Check out this motor mount your mom broke. Give that the wiggles, huh?
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Can you believe her?
What the heck?
I don't know. She got that heavy right foot, don't she?
Yeah.
I got that guy bolted in there. This tool right here really helps out. Got this side, now I just gotta do the other side.
Woo!
So the rest of the family is gonna start cleaning our parts up, like our cylinder heads, rocker arms, push rods, valve covers. Brad's gonna start on the cylinder head. I told him not to submerge it because I don't want the diesel fuel to mess up our valve stem seals or anything. He's amazed by the super scraper as well.
Yeah.
You really don't even have to put any pressure. You just like kind of glide it across it and it scrapes it off. I'd probably wire wheel those combustion chambers too, okay?
Yeah.
Get that carbon off there. I finally got those bolts out without removing the AC compressor. The heat shield just makes it like 100 times harder to do. Did on both of them. Look at that.
That thing is barely holding in there, wasn't it?
Yeah. I actually sliced the heat shield to peel it back so I can get to this bolt easier and then lay it back down. There we go. So while I've been doing the motor mounts, Ralphie's got the cylinder heads cleaned up. I'm gonna touch up some of this because I told him I really need to make sure we don't scratch any of that. All right, good job, bud. I'm good, thanks. Just one more to go.
Yeah.
Marge has got all the push rods here. She's gonna be cleaning them up and our valve covers and rocker arms and everything. So hopefully by the time I get done with what I'm doing, this stuff will be ready to go back on.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and wire wheel the top of the pistons just to get all the carbon out of this motor we can while we got it apart. Look how much is on this one. There's like a whole ledge of junk right there. Gotta help, right? I got all the block surface clean on both sides, vacuumed out, make sure I didn't have any trash down in this stuff here. Pulled my dowels out and I'm gonna put them back in now. So now I just gotta clean up the head surface and we'll be ready to bolt these things on.
It looks good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, since this is an LS motor, we have a broke off exhaust stud. So I ground it down to where I have a good surface to weld to. And we're gonna weld this on here and hopefully pull it right out of there. So hopefully the heat and the fact that we have something solid to turn it by will bring this thing right out of there. I didn't hold, did it? Or is it that loose? Ooh, it's that loose. Look at that. Loosen it right up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way I've seen to take them out. Here, Ralphie, you can sell that to somebody.
I'm just gonna stick it in my water bucket.
Okay. Time to throw the heads on this thing. So we have some LS1 head gaskets. It says 5.7 or HO 5.3 liter. And I have Hylamar Universal Joint Compound. I've never used this stuff. I've heard a lot of Turbo LS guys say they use this stuff to help seal the head gaskets. It's joint compound that, from what I understand, never fully cures, so it stays sticky. So you spray it on both sides, you wait 10 minutes, you bolt it together.
So it might be Marge proof.
Maybe. I've never even seen what color this is. We'll see what it looks like. It says it can also be used as thread sealer. We're gonna try it and see how it works. Might as well try it on Marge's car. So there's mine.
What is that man doing? Burning the roads up.
I've seen him 10 times today.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
He's out doing it for Dale.
Is that blue?
I think it's got a little bit of blue to it, yeah.
Start to it now.
Yeah, we'll do. We're in the torrential downpour now. So this gasket says front. We're just gonna set it down the dowels like that. Bob our head on there. Got the one with the target on it here. Yeah, those dowels really help. Sorry about the rain, guys. We gotta get this car done though. So we're reusing the head bolt because Sloppy said to, okay? Blame it on him if it messes up. So that little ratchet does like, I think 20 foot-pounds maybe. So I'm gonna go to 40 and then end it off with 65. The actual like technical spec is like 22 foot-pounds plus 70 degrees or something, but we're back around to 65 now. There you go. Gosh, it scares me because it's like an aluminum block.
Just throw it to her. This girl's been through it.
That's why we're having to fix it. And these little guys up here torque to 22 foot-pounds is all. We got our stock cleaned up push rods here. Hopefully we won't have to change the push rod length. We're about to find out. They pop right down through here. On this engine, it's pretty easy to just drop these in here. Some engines you could drop them down in the lifter valley, but you really don't have that problem with the LS. I'm also putting some assembly lube on top of these valve stems here and retainers just to make sure it's all lubricated. Set our rockers on here. So they just bolt straight down. There's no adjustability to this, kind of like how the small block Fords were in the 80s and 90s.
Is that good or bad?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing is you have no give on your push rod length. It just has to be dead on. So that's the only pain with it. It's probably a little more stable because it's on a tray or a shaft or whatever. That helps. Really, the best you can get is shaft-mounted rock arms like the Gremlin has, you know?
Yeah.
So let's see how much preload we have here. So preload is you get down to 0 lash. Depending on the manufacturer of the cam, they recommend different things, but usually it's like half a turn, 3/4 of a turn of preload. Sometimes it's more. This will tell us whether we have to get push rods or not. So see right there, our exhaust valve is just opening on this first cylinder. That means we can check the preload on this intake one here. So I'm gonna adjust it down until we have 0 lash, which is right there. That's half a turn, 1 turn, little over a turn and a quarter, almost turn and a half.
It'd be fine.
That's a little on the high side, but probably work. Here's another way to double check if your valves aren't too tight. You turn the motor over, and if you have compression, then your valves aren't stuck open, because we've had that happen before. Oh, there you go. Okay, so we got compression. We got just over 1 turn of preload. I'll spray this one down too. Hopefully this stuff works good. I've heard good things about it. If you guys have used it before, let me know. And without that dowel, that would be a big pain, wouldn't it?
Yeah. At least they're aluminum.
Oh yeah, cast iron would be a real pain, this big thing. Alright, we're torqued.
Yeah.
All right, just trying to make sure nothing's binding. We got compression. That's good. So this is at the bleeding edge of what you can run with stock valve springs, from what I understand. I'm trying to make sure our springs don't look like they're coil binding. They don't. Hopefully we'll be good to go. Put our steam vent tube back on here. Make sure we don't have any air pockets.
She put her head up against my hair and now she's doing this.
So I've ran into this before when we're using these valve cover seals. The O-ring gets stretched just a little bit even if you baby it. So I cut a piece out to shorten it. Then I'm gonna dab some RTV at the joint here and put it back together. And it'll work. So that way you don't have to buy valve cover gaskets. You got the shortest little valve covers, don't they?
It was little.
But that's really good. That means you don't have oil sitting on the pan rail.
Oh, yeah.
Like an old engine would. You've worked me and worked me
I'm
today.
sorry.
It's already dark outside, which summertime it's super late for us. I just want to be done with it.
I know.
It took so
Long,
much longer
drawn out
because
process.
we didn't expect to have to do all the things we had to do. Like I thought it was just like, oh, we'll change the lifters out and we'll be good to go.
She's been down a minute now.
The audience right now knows how long it is, but I don't. Put our bread box back on here. I'm still surprised this big Yukon has like the best heads, the best 5.3, the best intake.
Oh, she ain't playing.
You gotta get this big girl around him.
Right.
Go back.
Oh, Haley's gonna get it. You better hide.
Going back and hand tightening this intake down so we don't snap our plastic intake. All right, hook back up our fuel supply line here. Snaps right in. I believe this is part of the evap system here. What is she hacking up over there? Granny, we're trying to film here. And we're gonna end it off here for tonight, guys. Man, I am beat. I've been out here all day working on this thing. I thought I would get farther, just being honest. So hopefully tomorrow's the last day. Go, Granny, go. Can't live in the shop. No. Go see your friends. Bright and early the next morning, I'm the only one awake. I'm gonna start plugging things up and bolting things up and trying to get this thing done because we really need to film a main channel video. I need to get this thing done so we can do that. Let's get right into this. Maybe we can start her up today. Jamal's the only one out here with me this morning. I'm sorry, did I wake you up, buddy? He loves being in the shop for some reason. A couple hours later, I've got all this together. I wanted to get the exhaust on to give it plenty of time to dry. About to put the spark plugs in, and everybody's woke up now. So they're all here. What's up, dog? This is what our plugs look like, and I forgot to get any new ones. They're pretty dirty, especially some of them are. So I'm gonna try our spark plug cleaner. I've never used it before. Let's see how it works. Every time we get a car, I put new plugs in it, so they're not a million years old. But this is the worst one. We'll see what it does. I think you're actually supposed to mount this thing to a pole in your shop or something, but we ain't got time for that, do we? Marge is scared.
Her best. Nope.
Even that scares her, guys. All right, let's see the results here.
Oh,
Wow. Very nice.
That's crazy.
That does look way better. We'll see how that goes. Probably need to blow it off, get the media off of it. I'm gonna try our new plug tester here. Ooh. I love the noise it makes.
Take it.
Oh, it's even better, isn't it?
Huh?
I like to put a dab of anti-seize on the plugs on an aluminum cylinder head like this, just to hopefully keep it from seizing up in the aluminum cylinder head. I did the same thing on the exhaust bolts when I put them in.
I'm gonna put the drain plug back in and fill up the oil filter and take this whole one off. Oh no. Oh no.
Whoa.
Hey!
This will be the first time since you've owned this vehicle it won't have an exhaust leak.
Awesome.
Ow! Smashed my glasses.
Barely making it?
I don't know how I got in here before. Oh, here we go. Ow! Oh, this hurts.
You may jounce it?
No, please don't.
You
got the filter and the plug installed?
Yep. Coming to you. I can even see.
What kind of oil we got today?
That good Valium Premium Blue 5W40 diesel.
Come on. I'm going to put our little retainer clips back in our radiator. This is a Cornwell 9mm socket. It seems to fit good. So that keeps it from getting snagged on anything. You should be able to pop this clip right back on there and then pull that out. There we go. I didn't hook all my lines up because I think you got to snap this shroud in before you do the lines that are in your way. Where this snaps in. See, it just locks in at the bottom, bolts in at the top. Are you ready for the Mommy Mobile to have a chop cam and a tune?
That's crazy.
Important step is to plug your fans up. When I worked in the body shop, I've had cars come back that other guys worked on and it's overheating now, and I get in there and they never plug the fan back in.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, it does. These just snap right in. They just push, they click right into place. Easy to put together, hard to take apart. All right, while you want to fill up the coolant system?
Yeah, sure.
We got our air intake back on here now. We're almost there, guys. I just got to hook the exhaust back up. I think we're basically done.
Whoa!
Don't spill it, Wall.
Try not to.
This was so much harder to take off. It was so stuck. Like, I literally spent hours out here taking this loose.
Well, thank the good Lord it's going back together easy.
Yeah.
Gotta check your casing. That one's like halfway there.
We almost got the exhaust all tightened back up. So our transfer case was really oily, and I've checked it when we bought it, but apparently it got low, so I'm putting some Dextron fluid in here. Honey, I think I got it all together.
Yay!
This is the only extra bolts I have.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, you better find where them go and put them on there.
It didn't need everything.
Yes, it did.
Like random brackets and junk.
Oh, I didn't plug up this coil pack. I keep forgetting. Sorry about that. I doubt there's anything else I left off.
I think I see stuff unplugged as it is.
Well, let's hook our battery up and plug in our Diablo Sport II. Oh, little sizzle there. It's probably fine. We had on the slow charge today because it's been forever. She's always here to help, isn't she? Trying to read through the instructions here and make sure I don't mess anything up. So this thing has tunes built into it, or you can do a custom tune. You can clear trouble codes. You can even data log, which is awesome. It'll connect to the internet. It'll probably do your taxes. But it's the Diablo Sport I3 performance programmer is what it is. So let's plug it in and see what it says to us. It should allow us to delete our DoD AFM system. There we go. Got to get that off immediately. So OBD2 port should be right under here. Granny, what are you doing to me? Oh, it's turning on. Granny, you can't tune the car. Back up. You don't know how to tune it.
I've been tuned since before you was born.
Turn our ignition switch on here. So we're going to tune the vehicle. Easy or advanced? Let's go easy. Well, do you want more miles per gallon, or do you want all the donkeys on 87? We want all the donkeys, don't we? Transmission firm shift tune. Hard shift. Let's do firm. How about that? So it's probably going to up your pressure. Remove speed limiter.
Yes.
No, we do not want to remove the speed
limiter. I don't need no limiter. What are you doing?
I need to turn it down. So it saves the factory tune, so you can always go back. Oh, doing something now. All right, it is routing the tune to the ECM right now. Tuning complete. You may unplug the tool and enjoy driving your vehicle. I think now we've got to go in the advanced settings and delete the DoD out of it. We want to modify parameters. DoD and AFM, that's what we want to do. Turn it off. So we're going to apply that. So it says it wrote the tune. We should be good to go now, Marge.
I'm excited and nervous.
I know, right? Me too.
Yes.
Now's as good a time as any.
I'm so nervous.
I know, right?
Just start it.
Yeah, just start it. Yeah. Watch your oil pressure.
Oh my God! What the heck? You have messed up.
Are you watching the oil pressure?
It's good. What the heck? Oh my gosh! How am I going to school on like this?
He's the only one that knew I did it. I unbolted your exhaust. So oil pressure is fine?
Yeah. That's oh my god, you done it to me. It is so loud. Can I rev it or I don't need to rev it?
You can a little bit. Don't rev the guts out of it.
I'll just wait.
It's got all new cam and lifters, so. Well, it sounds like it's running on all 8 now. Look at the smoke. I don't see it leaking anything. Give her just a little bit, Mom.
That is great.
What's your oil pressure at?
It's above 60.
Okay, good. Good. Why don't you back her out a little bit so we don't all die? Man, it's been a long time, huh?
Almost a year.
I know. Crazy.
Almost a year. Hang on, now we coming.
So if you want to know, once again, here's the cam specs. So it's not a huge chop cam, but it should be a decent performance jump for us. You know, we didn't know we were doing this when we started this video a long time ago.
A long time ago.
All right, we'll let it sit here and get a temperature, make sure our cooling system is okay.
Woo!
She runs again.
Yay!
Don't want any air pockets. Don't hear any weird ticking or anything.
It's halfway between 160 and 210.
Okay. So the i3 must have done its job because there's no check engine light and we don't even have the DOD stuff plugged in. So it's not picking up on that.
No.
We're good to go. Oh, son. This ain't good. This ain't good. Mom's always said she can't have a car that sounds good because then she uses it.
You know I have a ticket.
Sounds like my truck.
Yeah? Is it getting too hot?
It's in between 210 and 260.
Let's cut it off and let it sit there and kind of bubble out, okay? We don't want to overheat it. It's definitely not circulating yet because the upper hose is completely cold, ice cold. It's going to be full here. I don't know what's going on with it because look, getting close to the edge of being hot there. It's almost like the thermostat's not working. We're gonna have to shut it down here. We're almost at 260. It says engine hot. Okay, maybe our thermostats went bad. Look, it is literally ice cold. Same thing here, nothing. Look, cooling systems, uncapped and full. So right here is where your temp sensor is. Is this just like a thing with us? Like, we put stuff together and then it overheats and...
It appears to be a thing recently.
I know I put the head gaskets on the correct way because there's a front and back to them. I guess maybe just sitting, maybe that thermostat just ain't working right anymore.
Put it in a pot and stab 'em bullets if it opens
That's
up.
what Daddy said.
We've done it before.
All right, we're back. We got our correct thermostat here. I just went with the stock one. I think it's 187 degrees. So this thing's had a chance to cool down now. I'm going to remove the thermostat housing. Oh my gosh.
What?
Just snap the bolt off in the water pump.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. Oh, there's a bunch of coolant. Well, there's your thermostat. It would be odd that this failed right at the same time, but then again, it sat for like 8 months, we think, so I guess anything's possible, huh?
Yeah.
It's built completely different. So there's the broke off bolt. My plan is to heat this up and try to turn it out with some vice grips is my plan right now. I hope this works.
And you're heating it up through. Look here.
What?
Smoking out the thing here.
Really? We really need this to work. Nope.
Yep.
It's hot now. It's not gonna back out. I really can't get it any hotter than that. Why has it got to fight back
I'm
then?
sorry.
I've been at this for 2 days straight and I just don't have time for this to take forever. I've gave it like 3 attempts trying to pull that out and it wouldn't pull out. I guess I'm going to have to drill and tap it, maybe, which is not fun to do when you have steel inside of aluminum. Usually wants to walk off to the side and mess you all up. Or we're gonna have to buy a water pump, one of the two. I'm gonna have to grind this head down first. I've got to try to get this centered here. Basically got one shot at this. So I had to take the fan out again just to get room for the drill. This is a 6mm by 1.0 thread pitch bolt. So I have a 5mm drill bit. There you go, all the way out the back. Thankfully there's no water passage behind there. You can always count on Marge for a woohoo, can't you? Yeah, I didn't want to have to buy a water pump. They're not too cheap for these.
No.
We spent enough already.
We just need this thing to work.
Yeah. Take this thing back out and put it back together. Again. Hopefully, all will be well in the world. I'm trying to make sure we don't have any air pockets. This I'm filling it up to the upper radiator hose, which bypasses the thermostat and goes straight to the motor. I'll run this thing through a paint filter. Cause I ain't buying no more, you know what I'm saying?
Stuff's expensive.
Yeah, you ain't lying, Marge.
So loud.
It still cracks me up that your car's got a cam in it now. Ralphie says we're at 210, which seems very fast to get there. So the thermostat should already be open. And I don't feel any warm at all on these hoses again. Like, this engine never overheated before. We're not getting any like combustion through our cooling system. No head gasket issues in theory. Who's that? Now it's squealing. Well, it did get antifreeze on the belt. Maybe it's just starting to squeal that. I'm weary of hot coolant now. It's pushing it out when I crack that. So I don't really want to do that. What is that?
I get 220.
Alright, let off, I guess. You get that rumble, don't you? Okay, I think we're getting circulation now. I moved the upper hose down and it started getting warm.
It's going down.
Good.
Yeah, it's finally getting water in this upper hose.
We just had a big air pocket, I guess.
It's almost at like 240 now to like almost back at 210.
Yeah, it's been good. You keep an eye on it.
When I pushed that upper hose down, I felt the hose get hot, and he said the temperature dropped, and it stayed about 210 ever since. I just want to know what this squealing is. It sounds like it's coming from the accessory drive. Something should be hot if it's... I don't feel anything that feels hot.
It sounds pretty bad.
Just one thing after another with this thing. I pull the belt back off. Nothing seems to be squealing. So I'm going to crank it up with the belt off and see if it squeals then. If it does, then that's absolutely terrible news. It's something not on the accessory drive system. Oh, it's something on the accessory drive then. Shut her off. Is it that guy? That kind of sounds crunchy, doesn't it?
Sounds terrible. Absolutely terrible.
We'll leave the AC one off and see what that does. Okay. Not the AC. I guess this is when you let it run until something starts smoking or melts.
I agree strongly.
What's our temp, Tempy boy?
Under 210.
Okay, test drive time. Squealing belt and all. Golly.
Hey, it's like the first time I've drove a squealing
I know,
belt.
I was going to say, going back to your roots, huh?
Man, it sounds good.
The belt squeal or the exhaust? Our temperatures went down to like maybe 180 right now. LS motors are bad about having air pockets.
Oh my god. We are so ghetto.
We have no backup plan if this thing breaks down.
Can you see?
You're good.
Oh.
I like the sound better.
That sounds good. Do you want me to keep driving?
Yeah. Man, you're going so fast already. It's incredible.
Right.
Incredible how fast you're going.
This is not fast. That is definitely. I think it's the exhaust sound just getting to her. I think she's got all the donkeys now.
Oh yeah, she's got the donkeys. But between that tune and the cam, it ought to help a little bit.
This is gonna be bad news. It's gonna be bad news. Oh gosh.
Oh, tractor.
Oh, what's your tractor?
Oh, it's Tennessee. It's got 8-month-old gas. Any more of that probably means it's bad.
I better just keep going a little bit.
Okay, we're going on, guys. My guess is the thermostat wasn't bad now because it did basically the same thing again, and then when I pushed it down, it cleared up. So apparently we just had a big air pocket. You would think though that would not have air pocket, being a stock system like that. There's probably some procedure at GM that I don't know about. Oh, we're out.
I think it's a lot peppier. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's got the pep now.
We're going to be at school enough time in the morning. We can sleep in 15 more minutes.
Oil pressure's good, temp's good, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we're good, guys. Just get this squeal fixed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call this a success, guys.
Woo!
Sounds good. Got a little more pep. I'm kind of starting to like the little squeak too.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she's counting taters now. Oh yeah, that top hose is hot now. Yeah, it's circulating. Good deal. What are you doing? Yeah. Ripping in here. I got a surprise for you.
Oh, Lord. Me?
Yeah, we got Mom's car done.
I just seen you drive it over. I'm like, what they got to do?
Yeah. Don't worry about the squealing belt.
Nah, we won't worry about that.
You're going to hear me coming.
I unbolted the exhaust.
Oh, okay.
Well, guys, that was a long, hard fight for 8 months to get to this point.
That's true.
But finally, Marge's car is at least running and driving again, and it sounds better, and it performs better. And maybe somebody out there that has the same problem. It's a super common problem with these. If you don't remember, here you go. That's the difference. This is a collapsed one. This is one that was working properly. Hopefully you figured out everything you need to do one, because I wasn't aware you had to replace the cam and everything like that. We're going to throw all this junk in the garbage, and she's going to run on 8. Honestly, I really did like that it ran on 4 on the interstate, because this thing would get like over 20 miles to the gallon. I just wish it wasn't like a super common failure, because I just don't want to put it back stock if it's just going to fail again. Because this may have already happened once before, because it's really common. Hope you like it. Go check out our merch at thesleeperdude.com. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at SleeperDude88. Check out our third channel, Sleeper Dude Armed, and our main channel, Sleeper Dude. Hope this helps somebody. Big thank you to Comp Cams for their help with the camshaft. And big thank you to Diablo Sport for the i3 tuner. Go check them out. Link in the description. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Woo! Oh, yeah.
You're looking good now.
He's looking real nice. Had to wash her up.
Yeah.